Hello everybody. Today we are going to make a granny square my way. Might be a little different than what you've seen out there, so I definitely encourage you to watch other people do different styles just to see what it might be that you like. But this is my favorite way to do it. I thought I'd share it with you. So we're going to start off by making a magic ring. Does the same thing as a magic circle, but it's a little easier. First of all, actually, I make a slip knot. And so then I chain 4. And the things I'm going to assume that you know how to do in this video are chaining, half double crochet, double crochet, slip knot, things like that. I do have tutorials, other tutorials on my YouTube channel here, just in case you do need a refresher on those. So please feel free to watch them. They're very short videos for each stitch. So now that I've chained 4, I'm going to make a slip knot into this, slip stitch into this first chain here. And you grab it, pull through both, and there you have your swanky little circle here. So then I chain 1 just to seal it. And I've got my hole that I'm going to be working into to make the first round of the granny square. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make 3 double crochets into this center here. So we do 1, 2, and you'll see I'm holding the tail down because I'm trying to work over the tail as I go. And there's my 3rd double crochet. After the 3rd one, I chain 1 and I do 3 more double crochets in that same center hole there, working over that tail to secure that. And that's 3 more double crochets, which is a cluster. 3 double crochets equals a cluster. So now I have a cluster, a chain 1 space, and a cluster. So let's chain 1 again, and then work 3 more double crochets into that center. I'm going to move that yarn a little bit, give me a little more room. So now I have 3 clusters and 2 chain spaces. I'm going to chain 1 again and work 1 final cluster, so 3 more double crochets right into that center there. Okay, so now this is what it looks like. I have a cluster, a chain 1, a cluster, a chain 1 space, a cluster, a chain 1 space, and another cluster. So now I have to connect this back. And this is where it differs on how people do this. There are some people that will connect this with a slip stitch. I prefer to connect this way because I really like how it makes the granny square look. I connect it to this here with a half double crochet. So let me show you. This up here, I don't want to do it in the side right here because it would look a little funny. So I go into that top here and I go into that stitch and I do a half double crochet. And now you can see I've got almost a square. It's my first round. Now that I've completed that, I'm going to chain 1 and get ready to go to my next round. But first thing I'm going to do is pull this tail, just pull it, and it closes up your circle. So now this does the same thing as a magic ring. You now have a closed circle and your first round of a granny square. Moving to the second round, I'm going to work right here in this chain space that is right above where I'm working. And that's why I do it this way, is so I can go straight down into this one. So I go straight into here and I do 3 double crochets. And that's really the pattern. You're always going to do 3 double crochets. On this first chain space, you're only going to work 3 double crochets. You're not going to make a corner like we're going to do on the other ones, because at the end you're going to connect it, and I'm going to show you how we do that. So going into this, we're only working in the chain spaces. We're not doing anything in any of these top spaces here, any of these top chains. So into this next space, I go directly into it and work 3, say it with me, double crochets. So now that that is done, that's half of a corner. So now between those, I'm gonna chain 1 and go right back into that same chain 1 space and make 3 more double crochets. What I'm doing here is creating a corner to make the square. So what you'll see now is that I've created this corner, 3 double crochets, a chain space, and 3 double crochets. So when you come around for round 3, you're going to crochet into that chain 1 space all around. So let's keep going. The next chain space is right there. I'm going to go directly into it and work 3 double crochets. So repetitive. But these make such beautiful and amazing things. You can make entire blankets out of just a granny square, just going around and around and around as many times as you like. So I've done my 3. Since this is a corner, I'm creating a corner. I'm going to then chain 1 and do 3 more double crochets into that same chain 1 space. Round 2 is always going to look like this. It's when you get to round 3 and further that it looks a little different, because you're creating these little spaces here, and I'll explain that in the next round. So now I've got my corner spaces created, so I can move on to this one here, go straight into it, and what's our lovely little song and dance? 3 double crochets right into that next chain 1 space on the corner there. And if it starts to look a little weird, like you see how mine's pulling up like that, that's okay. It's gonna work itself out. So I've done my 3 double crochets, and you can see how it's starting to look like a square. Now I'm going to chain 1 and 3 more double crochets in that chain 1 space on the corner there. Okay, so now I'm back to this. This is my original chain 1 space here, the original beginning space where I did 3 double crochets and just moved on. So we have to finish this corner. So I'm going in and making 3 half double crochets. Why? Because each corner has 6 half double crochets connected by a chain 1. So I have to finish this corner off. 3 half double crochets. And this is where mine gets a little different as well. Some people will connect these with a slip stitch. I do not do that because I think it looks kind of weird. You could technically, just for a little difference, you could technically chain 1 and then go into this top one and slip stitch like that. I personally don't like how that looks, so I don't do that. What I do instead is I connect this with a half double crochet. So I'm always going to go into this top space here, not the side space, or it's going to look a little silly. You want to go into that top first stitch here. So I do a half double crochet right into that stitch, and now it looks like a corner. It looks like an actual square. And that is my round 2. So you can see my round 1 made the 4 corners, made a little cross in the 4 corners. My round 2 made 4 corners, but also there is a middle chain 1 space. And this is how round 3 is going to differ. Round 3 on is going to differ from the first 2 rounds. So to start your next round, I always chain 1. And then again, we're going directly into the space below us. And we're going to do on that first space there only 3 double crochets, because remember, we're going to connect them back at the end. Whoops. Also remember that everyone makes mistakes. If someone tells you they don't make mistakes, they're a fibber. All right, so we've done our 3 double crochets here. Now this is our corner over here. This is a corner, this is a corner. And if you remember, what we do in the corner is 3 double crochets, a chain space, and 3 more double crochets. That is in every corner, except for that first one, because we finished that at the end. So what do we do to this middle space here that is not a corner? Just 3 double crochets. That's all we do. It's just an extra space that we're creating with each row, and each round that you do is going to create more. As you can see, I'm creating one here for my next round, which will be round, I think, 4. And that's it, just 3 double crochets. Well, now I'm back to a corner. So what do we do? 3 double crochets. 3 double crochets, yes, but it's a corner space, and we need to create another corner for the next round. So we chain 1 and we do 3 double crochets again. As you can see, that's literally all we do. So if you know how to do a double crochet, this is your thing. So we have created that corner. You'll notice the next stitch is not a corner. So for non-corners, 3 double crochets. That's it. So now you're seeing the pattern. As you go around each round, the corners are always the same. 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. The non-corners, so the spaces that are not corners, are just 3 double crochets. And that's what you do round and round and round until you make this granny square as big as you want. Now, if you are making a granny square to which you're going to make a blanket out of, usually 5 rounds, 6 rounds, 4 rounds, whatever size you want to make it, just make them all the same. But if you're doing a blanket that is just one big granny square, you could just make this thing until it's humongous, which I have done, and it makes a beautiful blanket pattern. So this is a corner, chain 1, 3 more half double crochets. Now, just a little FYI, this yarn calls for a size 5 hook. I always go a little bit up, so this is a 5.5. You can use whatever hook your yarn says to use, or you can decide to go higher or lower. If you want it to be tighter, you could do a 4.5 or a 4 even, or if you wanted it to be a little bigger, you could do a 6. So it's really just how you feel like you want to do it. Excuse me. To finish this off, we're going directly into this right here to do 3 half double crochets, because it is not a corner space. So we have a corner space, directly into that corner, 3 double crochets. My yarn is moving across the table. 3 double crochets. And then what? Chain 1. And 3 more double crochets. There's our corner. There's our chain 1 space. Here's our next chain 1 space. It is not a corner. It's so nice that you can really easily see very clearly all the chain 1 spaces. It's not a corner, so we simply just do 3 double crochet into that one right there. All right, guys, so we're now at the very end, which is also the beginning. This is where we started making the 3 double crochets only. Well, we got to finish this corner, so we do 3 more double crochets. And if you remember how we connect those, once we've made them, we connect them on this top piece right here. I'm going to connect that with a half double crochet. And there we go. And that is what we've made. And as you see, as you go around, you make more chain spaces that are not corners. Here's my corner. Here's my corner. These spaces, since we're only working in the chain spaces, these, every time you do a round, you work more and more. So this one will have next round will have 4 corners, and then more of these non-corner chain spaces. And that's it. So when I'm done with my granny square, I do this very simple. I just grab my handy dandy scissors over here, which are my unicorn scissors, which are of course amazing. I just cut. Oops. And I just pull it through like that, tighten. And then I'm just gonna weave in my ends. Probably should have had all my little needles. And you know, just get a darning needle. And we're gonna stick it through there like that. And I try to make it to where you don't see that little bump. So the first thing I do is I go in here like this, and I try to make it look like that's a stitch. So see, now it doesn't look so weird on the top. It looks like that's actually supposed to be there. That's a stitch. Little ninja trick. And then I'm just gonna sew it in. And so I'm gonna take it down here maybe, because that knot that we made is not super tight, and you don't want to make a ton of those knots because it'll be huge. So if you weave your ends in, not only do they hide, but it gives it more security, so you're least likely for it to unravel. So I just go back and forth underneath some of these like this. This is an interesting instrumental. And I make sure this is woven in pretty securely, because I don't want it to come undone. I don't want someone to be enjoying a nice blanket and surprise, the granny square pops open. So I think that's pretty secure. You don't want to pull it too tight because you don't want to cause your granny square to look silly. So once that's done, I'm just going to throw my darning needle there. Once that's done, then we sew in your tail. Let me grab another one real quick. To sew in your tail, I just go around the circle here. So okay. So I take it like this, and I just go around those circle stitches, the center. If it wants to come through, that'd be cool. There we go. And the reason I do this like this, so sewing around that center, is because it's going to help you pull your ring tighter. So once I'm done with that, I just make sure that's super tight. And look how tight that is. Nothing's getting through there. And that is it. You then just clip that off, and you're on to the next granny square. Now there are people that will tell you that there's a good side, and well, this is the bad side, this is the good pretty side. There are people that will tell you that, and there are people who will flip and turn their work in between rows. I personally don't do that because I like the difference in how they look. It kind of gives a little bit more character. But that's it. That is how you make a granny square, at least my version of it anyway. I hope that was helpful. I do plan to put up lots more videos on here so you guys can learn how to crochet things. So if you want to subscribe or follow or hang out, I would love to do that with you. Hope you guys have a lovely evening, and I will talk to you soon.